Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury. Welcome to my channel. So today, it's a book review kind of day. While I was on vacation, I finished the book that I was reading, which was called We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. This book I really enjoyed. I actually got through it very quickly, which for me is always a sign that I'm really invested in it and I'm really enjoying the world that it's creating. So this is going to be a challenge for me to do this book review without giving you spoilers. So I might have to tell you a little bit about what's going on just to sort of like set the scene as to why I really enjoyed this. But it's so intertwined with the plot line and this is a tough one. This is a challenging book for me to review spoiler free. So if you want absolutely no spoilers, there might be a few that slip in here, but I'm going to try my best. So basically, this book, it's sort of like this combination of this girl who wanted to be a rock star and then had to abandon her dream for a multitude of reasons, which, spoilers, see, I'm trying. So she ends up working like just like a basic job. I believe she was like at a hotel, like, the front desk of a hotel, and she wasn't really enjoying it. She didn't feel like it was her calling. She felt like, something was missing from her life, a incomplete puzzle, if you will. And the book is her journey going to investigate herself, her friends that used to be in her band, and in part coming of age for herself, but in part learning a deeper, darker secret about the band and what actually happened. Based on the title, hint, hint, there's more going on there. Unbeknownst to her, I might want to add. Unbeknownst to her, she was not a willing participant in what happened. So it is this adventure in which she rekindles friendships from years past, which, I highly relate to, because my closest friends I'm still in contact with, and they have been my friends, not for months, not for years. My friends have been my friends for decades. Distance doesn't keep us apart. So whenever I read something where it's this journey of rekindling friendships with people that time and distance have gotten in the way of, I can totally feel that. I very much relate to that. And while she's reconnecting with these people and sort of getting caught up on where they are now in their lives, and whether they're still sort of like on the level with each other or if their lives have just grown too diversely, apart, and what that means for her in trying to figure out her present life situation. And then in addition to, meeting up with people from her past, also connecting to new people, developing new friendships, and new fresh bonds with people. So there is this great parallel plot line around friendships, as in general, like what friendships mean, what trust means, what we value in people. And that plot line is like sort of interwoven through the story of what's actually going on. I will say, I really did enjoy the ending. It was very nostalgic to me in the context of like big festival, rock and roll festival events. I grew up in the times of Lollapalooza, these great, amazing rock bands that all came together, one at a time on stage, and amazing times. Like I remember one time I got to see, I don't remember if this was the same show or two different Lollapaloozas, but like Hole with Courtney Love, Metallica, Moby, Patti Smith, Counting Crows, like, but it was like, all of that was like one, maybe two concerts. Like there were just tons and tons and tons of amazing performers, like one after the other, and there was like a main stage and there was a second stage and sometimes even a third stage. Like, yeah, I remember when I saw Moby was playing second stage before he like really took off. So I got to see Moby before Moby was like well known, and getting to like discover music through that venue and connecting to other people around me, connecting to artists and musicians. It was an amazing experience. And the end of this book tapped into that, reached into my nostalgia memories, pulled them out, and said, here you go, enjoy this. It was amazing. It was amazing. So I really had a ball reading this book. Very easy read, but very enjoyable read. So that was a fantastic journey that it took me on. I do put a warning out there if you are going to read it. There are some parts of this book that are pretty violent and described in a graphic sort of way. It is not the bulk of the book, but there are a few scenes in the book that are a little, painful to read. Not easy to read. But the book overall, like, does not linger in that. It's just, I'm just recalling like one particular section of the book that gets a little bit like, I don't know if I wanted to read that. And for me, the thing when I read that, like, I'm a very visual person. So when I read books, I visualize and I see things in my mind's eye. And sometimes in books, things can be described in a way that, like, if you're watching a movie, it doesn't quite capture in the same way that a book captures, for better, for worse. And sometimes when I'm reading that, I'm just like, ugh, no, ugh. It's bad. So I do put that sort of warning, that disclaimer that there is a section of this book that gets a little bit meh, because of the violence that's described. But overall, that is not the focus of the book. I just want to be clear, like, that is a section of the book, not the focus of the book. But the rock and roll, the music, that's the core of the book. That is, the thread that sewed it all together. That is what it is. So yeah, that's my review of We Sold Our Souls by Grady Hendrix. And, I enjoyed reading it. I enjoyed the journey that it took me on. So with that, I'm done for today. I will see you all real soon. And until then, stay inspired by everyone. Take care.